Greetings, this is Chris, and welcome back to City Skylines, where we are in our city of Westvalley, admiring the beautiful cycle bridge we constructed at the end of last episode. Isn't it nice to see them going up and down, with the sun shining? It's lovely. And the state of the cities is pretty good, we're in good health. The cash reserves we've built up whilst I waited for it to finish raining are certainly nice. And we have a couple of problems. I think we have some commercial areas now demanding highly educated workers. And we may have a little issue with the trash trucks from over here getting all the way down here. I may need to build a trash dump somewhere in this region to deal with that. At the end of last episode, we unlocked a lot of new things. In particular, and what really changes the game from this point onwards, is that we have the high density residential, commercial, and of course the office zone available, which means we can now create industrial jobs without necessarily creating pollution. We've also unlocked a few other things, some level 5 buildings, the incinerator from the trash section, and yeah, we're actually well on the way towards the next milestone, which is 8,500 people. So let's just have a quick chat about the overall perspective for the city. So currently we're occupying these two squares, and there's plenty more expansion available in these two areas. In particular, I think I'll be expanding in the Barlow region here, all the way up to the highway. And I think I can expand quite a bit further along this coastline as well, and still leave this area rural. Ultimately, I think this industrial park here I want to clear out and switch this to more of a rural farming and residential area. If we look at the city from above here in the land purchasing mode, we can see that, well, for one, we can see a giant oil slick of pollution being created by our sewage waste here. And I was hoping we'd be able to see the available transport routes for nearby ships, but I guess they divert if there's a transport route nearby. I'm not quite sure. You can see a rail line up here, and ultimately I do want to connect to the main rail line. But in terms of industry, I'm thinking that this part of the island here on the opposite side of the highway could make for a nice industrial area. Yes, it's going to be pollutive, but it's going to be shipping it out by boat or by train, and the pollution should hopefully head off in this direction. We may be able to do something about it as well in terms of sewage processing. In fact, I think if we look at available resources, this particular island section is not really very rich in anything. This section is a large oil area actually, so well, we may change our mind and turn this area into more of a industrial area, specialising in oil. I doubt we'll go out to this island here, but you never know. So, for the short term, the plan is to grow the city to within the bounds of this initial highway and try to make that non-pollutive, residential, commercial, offices, that sort of space. And then this sort of top end here will end up being somewhat rural. I suppose if we head out in this direction it will end up somewhat rural as well, and we'll sort of concentrate our industry down in this area here. And I think we're going to start by introducing some office space, because there's a huge demand for jobs right now in the industrial sector. And I think this area here could be very nice for some office space. Although, if we want to make the area further north rural, perhaps not. But I also don't want to build up this section too much. I kind of like this sort of suburban cycle path type thing. This whole island isn't really suitable for a Manhattan-style district, I've decided. So we want to build some office space up in this area. Let's do it over here, between the roundabout and the edge of the city. So now we can either have it coming off the main road, or we can have the traffic divert through here, and I think I'm okay with that. So we'll just disrupt a little bit of commerce in order to build an industrial area out here. So something like this. The thing about offices is they don't work in the same way as normal industry. There's no requirement to have stuff delivered back and forth or access to the highway and so on. So it's really not that big a deal to place it in the centre of the town. But because I want to make this area fairly dense, I think I will for now build it far out and possibly construct some more later. But we will build, let's say, 2 sections like this and zone some more office space. We ought to do something with this commercial area as well. I suppose we can connect that road across without much harm. I want to try and avoid too many road connections though, as previously discussed. Cul-de-sacs do work much better. So, let's have another little road going out here. And then we can add some more office space like so. And we can add a little bit of just light commercial shopping areas here. That's interesting. That road apparently doesn't connect at 90 degrees or something. Because it seems to have de-zoned part of this area. Ah, possibly that was because of the way I set this up. Yes. But now we have some quite large office blocks going down, in fact. And of course they demand water. There we go. And they are going to start demanding more and more educated workers. So, one thing we now have access to, as the game is reminding me here, is the university. It's not very large, but it's reasonably large. And it will also have a lot of traffic that wants to go back and forth from it. Pedestrian, cycle, bus traffic, that sort of thing. And so we may want to place it somewhere that people can easily access. And my feeling is that this area is not really where I want to build the university. I want to build it somewhere prestigious in this sort of Garland Park area, which I've always imagined as a wealthier area due to the tourism down here. But I guess in reality it might not be so good. If you want to know how sort of districts of your cities are shaping up, you can quickly check over here in the map mode, and we can just sort of look at the land value. And yes, actually, as I suspected, the far edges of town don't score as well as the very close to the river parts and the sort of denser built-up areas. So, in fact, the nicest place in town is kind of the centre, which I guess is understandable. We have a power crisis. Sorry, university, we'll get back to you. Power crisis is going to require even more of these. Just line it up nicely. There we go. Is that going to give us enough, or shall I produce another one? No, this is going to be short. I guess the offices use up a lot of power. And for now, this is really our best source of power still. So until we unlock a much larger city, we won't get a better power plant. I think it's going to be quite some time before we can build solar. We may switch to something pollutive if it does have a large capacity. So anyway, the university. As we saw just now, this sort of area was fairly wealthy, and I would like to construct the university somewhere appropriate. So I think some of this old commerce is going to have to be cleared out in order to replace, in order to make space. Although that's a fire department, isn't it? So in fact, it could be next to the fire department just here, or we could try to slot it in just here, which I think is quite nice actually. Yeah, so we're going to actually destroy a little bit of commercial in order to build a university just there. It's worth checking our other our other school systems. We have plenty of elementary school availability. We are running low on high school access, so, well, I guess a lot of people just graduated from elementary. We should probably build a high school somewhere over here. We can use up this corner quite effectively, I think. Do we want to do it that way round? No, I think we want to do it that way round. We'll pop a high school in that corner, and that should provide some education for people on this side of the river. And the university itself, well, you can hear all the dings. Ding, 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 ding. Lots of buildings are levelling up because we've managed to build a university and provide them with that last level of education. Although they're only going up to level 2, so it's not that big deal. What about you guys in the middle? Any of you guys upgrading? That's the school. Yeah, you're nearly at level 4, that's not bad. This should solve some of the problems of demands for highly educated workers, because although some can move into your city, more likely that it's not that likely that you'll get many, and it's much easier to educate them yourself. And we shouldn't suffer from too much of an overeducation problem if I sort of squash capacity a little here and there. I don't even know if that's really a problem. The designers of the game claim that if you have a highly educated worker, they will work in a less educated job. So they will go pack boxes in a factory even if they've got a university degree. But that I'm not really sure whether that happens or not, because when your city's quite developed and lots of people are highly educated, you do seem to get a lot of demand from low slot jobs. But that's possibly because there just aren't enough workers in the first place. So the next thing I'd like to do is to introduce a bus system to our city. And, well, we can actually build a bus depot, which means buses are available for our bus lines. You can build a bus station, which means that you basically have a giant single point where all bus routes can go through if you want to, which is really nice. But I don't think we need a bus station yet, not until we're a much larger city. I think for now just some small bus routes will do. If we wanted to, we could also build taxi cab company. I don't know if we want that just yet until the tourism really kicks off. And there's also subway, of course, which again I really don't feel like we have enough people to justify building a subway. It's also quite expensive. Not enough customers. We're getting complaints about the number of customers. Well, you're selling fancy organic food in like one of the lowest wealth areas of the city, so that's your own fault really. People don't want to buy your fancy food, they want Walmart. Okay, so we're going to start a bus route. And to do that we're going to have to build a bus station to provide buses. And this is a noisy building, so we want to build it out somewhere that doesn't care so much about noise. And do officers care about noise? I don't remember. Do officers care about noise? I know that industry doesn't care about noise, and residential obviously does care about noise. Certain commercial zones don't care about noise. I think some do. Well, let's build our bus station somewhat out of the way. Sorry, bus depot, mustn't confuse them. For instance, we want to give them good access to this main road. To get the bus routes heading started quite quickly. So perhaps what we'll do is we'll just pop the bus depot up here on the edge of this little road. Destroys a little bit of commercial, but it's not really a big deal. And I don't think those shops are going to care about the noise. So now we're allowed to build bus stops. And the way that works is like so. We decide what sort of bus route we want our people to have. And I'm thinking we want to have a bus route that goes around Barlow, and a bus route that goes around the town centre, and possibly one that goes around here. And then we'll need something to exchange between the two, unless we make the Barlow route just pop across here, for instance. And you want to make sure that you cover areas where people visit frequently. So people take the bus to go to the shops, and they take the bus to go to the work. So if I want to, say, deliver people to this office zone, I will pop a little bus stop just there. And the bus is going to be driving on the right. So it's going to drive all the way up, back down, and then the next stop probably wants to be somewhere more like around here. And then we can put a bus stop either on the very edge or just here. This is a cul-de-sac. Okay, so actually, we don't want a bus stop on the cul-de-sac, ideally, because otherwise the bus has to go in and turn all the way around. So one thing, once you've built a bus stop you don't want, you can simply right-click and it will disappear. So then, actually, we want to build a bus stop out on the edge of town here, and then we want to have a bus stop come down through this route, and stop probably here as well. Yeah, let's put it just there. Then it's going to go under the bridge, and stop there. And then let's not go too deep into Garland Park sort of area. So maybe we'll go past the gardens are a good stop to go past. So we'll actually have a stop just here, and then we'll have a stop at the top. And now we want to just close up the loop by probably stopping at these shops. And oh, it's going to go through this little route. That's cute. So actually maybe we'll stop right at the edge of town, and then we'll have one more stop just here for the commercial area. And then we'll just connect up to the stop we started with, and voila, we have a bus route complete. So that's one of our bus routes, and now we want to start another one. So let's have a look at how to deal with the Barlow situation. So here, our bus probably isn't going to go down these long roads because they're mostly dead ends, although it may loop around this estate here. But honestly, I'm trying to encourage people to cycle, so I don't want to make too many bus stops. So what I'll do is put, let's put one just here, and then let's have this connect by going across the bridge and dropping people off somewhere close to other bus stops. So if we just put one here, then they can just quickly pop from that bus stop over here to over there. And then we'll have it come back down. And you can't put bus stops on a bridge, and that's technically part of the bridge. Is it worth putting a stop there? Oh, apparently you can't loop around just there. Ah, okay, interesting, yes. So you can't do a loop on these double roads, which means it's going to go all the way down, and that's really annoying. We also don't want to go all the way up here, though, so... In that case, cancel that stop. Let's actually have it merge with this stop here. So now the buses will both stop at this one stop, which makes it a good exchange point. We then need to somehow get back round to this main road. So, well, the bus is basically suggesting the quickest way for it to do that is to go up through this cul-de-sac and back again. That's not ideal, really. I would really like you to be able to just turn around immediately, but I've realised I only have one connection to this main road, don't I? I think that's just going to have to be the way it is. Yeah. But we can at least put another stop in down here to pick people up who might be going across. So we'll just put one there. And then it's going to come back across the bridge and stop here. And then we will loop around. No, I don't think we will. We're just going to do a loop around this main commercial sector, actually, through Barlow here. So you can stop at the high school. And you can stop at... Why are you going all the way down there? There we go. You can stop at the... What is that? The fire station at the edge of town. And then you can loop around to there. So it's a little bit ugly because of this little stop here. But that's one of the consequences of my building the road without too many connections. But there we go. Now, there is a small problem. You can see that both of our bus routes are blue. That's confusing because if we ever see a bus wandering around, they're both going to be coloured blue. Fortunately... there is a way to deal with this up here, which is you get a nice overview of the public transport lines, and you can decide whether they run during the day or at night or both. And it also tells you what sort of information you want to know. So how many vehicles are there running on the bus line and how many passengers are there. We are going to make bus line 2 here, and I kind of wish there were fewer colours to choose from, but we'll try and choose the really obvious ones, like a red. So we now have a red bus route for the Barlow town centre interchange. We'll then build a third bus route somewhere over here. We want it to pass through the historic district. So let's start with a stop at the Opera House, and then one neat trick you can do if you're not quite sure where you want the bus route to go in its entirety. We'll say we want to connect up with this bus stop here. That's a good plan, I think. And we can then basically have it loop all the way around back to where it started. But now we only have 2 stops. Fortunately, you're allowed to both add stops, and you're allowed to drag them around and create new ones. So I think once we stop up there, it's probably worth us stopping down here. So we'll have a bus stop down there. Did it add one? Yep, so it's just there on that route. It may be worth us dragging this one to here as well. And then they both interchange at this then. So there's 2 points where these bus routes overlap. We'll then have a bus stop at the edge there, close to this commercial area, and we'll put another one somewhere here as well. Let's say up there. Now, for the moment, this looks like a pretty nice little bus line, to be honest. We just need to add a couple of stops, so we'll add one up there, and we'll add one up there. Do we want anything from here? No, that'll do. So we pass through... Maybe we'll put one here as well, next to university. So we pass through the tourism district here, and we go up through to Garland Park and the university. And yes, I think this is very nice. But again, we're just going to have to quickly change the colour of that bus. No, that's line 1. Line 3. You're going to be a fabulous green colour. That is hideous neon green, my god. Well, there we go. So now we have 3 bus routes, and we'll see what effect that has on our city in the long run. I will keep you updated later on in the play. And after building those bus routes, we now have many houses being built up to level 4, which means that this whole area is becoming effectively wealthier and wealthier. Now I think we have a bit of a traffic problem. Because we only have one connection to the main road from the entire town centre and Garland Park area, I think we're starting to get traffic problems. You can see it's building all the way back up to the bridge. So we have a couple of options. We could widen these roads to accommodate more traffic, or we could build in another connection. So I think if we just quickly if we look at this and have a quick analysis of where these people are going, many people are heading up here. So from here I think most people are heading up here or across. And a lot of people coming from down here are heading over there. So it really is, I say it's quite balanced whether they're going this way or this way. And here we go, 3 buses at once, classic. So we could actually provide people with a second entry point onto this main road, onto the highway. And we could possibly even provide people with actually, yeah, that's a very good idea. What we're going to do is we are going to build a little bridge over the highway to provide people a route to the office space for work. We're going to start with a nice gentle slope, like so, page up. And it's going to go straight across, and then we'll have a nice gentle slope downwards. As gentle as it can be. And then I think we'll just connect it all the way up to this road over here, because that also gives us some opportunity to build a little bit more commercial along this road. And for some reason I never built it on that section or that section. But there we go, there's some more commerce. At the moment we're still getting demands for industry as well, so I think we may want to build another little office area. And now I have this second route into the office area, I'm pretty happy to do that, I think. So what we'll do is build out like this. And I don't really want to connect across necessarily. Is it going to be harmful? I don't think it's going to be that harmful here because we have very little traffic for the amount of office space we're using. So this whole area is going to become... Oh, wrong one. It's going to become out of town office space. Well, slightly out of town. Like so. And yes, that road is clearly at a slight angle. And that does bother me a little. Why is it at such a funny angle? It must be because I built this one. But, I mean, that should be at a right angle, that should be at a right angle, that should be at a right angle. There must be some slope or something playing up. Anyway, we've got lots and lots of takers for the office space. People are desperate for jobs. And even the only slight problem with this is that the offices tend to only hire partially or fully educated workers. Which means that many of our less educated folks may not benefit from office jobs. But they have lots of factories and farming to do, so it's all good. It's all good. Just got an interesting message up here that there's a demand for a prison, which is something they added in the After Dark expansion, I believe. So, do I need one? Well, my police stations don't really keep sort of prisons. Yeah, okay, I guess we do in fact need a prison. And what do prisons do? Do people like prisons or do people hate prisons? Because if you think back to other SimCities, building near a prison was generally not good. I am a bit hesitant to put it anywhere close to residential. I don't think that would be a good idea. Oh, it makes a hell of a lot of noise. Aha, I see. So in fact, you want to build a prison out somewhere nobody goes. Well, I think we can probably arrange that. What space do we have to build a prison? Oh, we haven't got access to this island yet. Well, that would be lovely. Hey, you know what? Maybe it's time we built more road heading out towards this island. I obviously want to build on this island space here. So you know what? We're going to buy a part of the map. There we go. We've expanded the map. And now we can go back. And we can build a prison. Wait, there's some roads here? What on earth are those? There's some kind of trenches. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder what they're from. Is this some sort of representation of like native earthworks or something that's just lying around here? I've never seen those before. It's really strange. Okay, well, as I was saying, we're going to build a prison, and I think a good place for a prison is an island in the middle of nowhere, which apparently has more of those weird trenches on it. Cool. This island is also, as it happens, stock full of oil. So we may end up building some industry out here, but industry does not care about prisons, so that's fine. I think we'll build a little prison just on the edge of this island here. We're probably going to have a road come off of here along the coast, and then it's going to cross somewhere here. That's going to be quite a bridge, but I think we can do it. Okay, well it needs to connect to the city anyway, so let's do that. Let's build a road out to here, and then let's consider the shortest possible bridge that's going to look nice. So maybe... yeah, we need to curve around a little bit, I would say. So we want the bridge to end up going onto that flat section, probably from about here, but it'll be at a right angle to the main road, because this road will probably go around the outside of the island. Is that going to look good? No, I want a smooth curve like this, really. Yeah, I think that's suitable. Good. And then we'll have another one going all the way up to these strange earthworks. So that's going to be the road around the other side of that island, and then we just need to build a bridge that kind of goes straight from this point, straight, out to here. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's a good thing we built up that reserve. So we have just a single long causeway bridge out to the island of horrible industry and death and criminals. And yeah, let's have the road go straight through the middle, like this. And then at this point I might switch to rural road, because it doesn't need to be fancy at all until I actually build industry out here. We will... do we want a road coming off of here? Yeah, we want the industry to basically come straight from the middle of that section there, so let's build the road from about here out straight, all the way, and then we'll just pop it up like this. Or we could try and get a nice 45-degree angle, actually. How do I do 45-degree angles again? Like so. Like so. That doesn't look like 45 degrees, does it? I don't think I did that correctly. Let's do it like this. Hang on, that's curving. I'm sure it's not supposed to curve. It's supposed to be a nice 45-degree angle. I'm sure it worked on the other road. Okay, when in doubt, do it by eye. And then we can build the prison. Just like that. Right on the edge of the island. Glorious. That's excellent. So now, right on the edge of this island here, we have a relatively high security prison. And it's sent out a patrol van to go and pick people up and send them off. Presumably from the police stations. Yes, picking up criminals from police station. Good. And I just got a notice saying that people want more industry, so let's give it to them. We can actually build an oil industry out here. So in fact, let's first of all... we're going to need power, sorry, and water. I guess the prisoners need power or something, or the security gates fail. What? Oh my god, have I done it again? Oh, Jesus Christ. How did I... What? But it was... I don't understand. Oh, it's because I built the road out. Oh no. Oh. Once again, I forgot to delete or reinstall a piece of power line. So my entire city has gone without power. And now we're down to 2,000 people. Oh, I can't believe I did it again. I'm so sorry, people. I'm such a terrible mayor. I promise I'll put my resignation on my desk tomorrow. Because this was really, really stupid of me. I wish there was more of a warning. I don't know. Yeah, power lines, I shouldn't be relying on them, but they're damn it. Okay, let's fix this power line problem as best I can. Let's try to hook things up more sensibly. Right. Okay, so power all comes from these turbines here and these turbines out at sea. The turbines out at sea are producing more power than anything else. I simply need to connect this to there, and I can do that with just one power line like so. Please don't destroy that power line. Now, over here I'm going to have to connect across the highway, but that's possible. And this is a part that I probably will develop, which means I'm a bit wary. So what I'll do is I'll have a power line go all the way up to the high school, because the high school is definitely going to stay there. And I'm also going to just quickly put in another line there, and another line there. And then hopefully, if I accidentally delete something in the process of building, there will still be a connection. Let's just check that restores power to the city. Very good. And also everything's on fire. Quickly delete it. Now, I was saying the prison needs power. And that's when I discovered the whole city needed power, but there we go. The prison is probably best off getting its power directly from the turbines here. So I need to make sure that this is put in the correct place. And we'll have it connect up to the island here. And then it can come... well, it can come all the way down until I built the industrial area. And, you know, let's just do it straight across like this, actually. Straight across like that, and then all the way up to the prison. That will do nicely. And they also want water. What is our water situation like? We are pumping plenty of water, so in fact, we won't build a dedicated system out here. We will build a pipe that goes along this road, and then we'll basically have it follow... I missed. We'll have it follow the bridge across. And then go all the way up here. And that should deal with the water situation. And now, I want to designate this whole island, or what area I can, to be a district. Specifically an oil district. So let's start... biggest one, please. Start doing the whole island. There we go. Poplar Hills doesn't seem like the right kind of name for the district. We'll designate it an oil district, and then using the district policies tool, we can rename it. Well, it's a prison, but it's also making oil, so we'll call it something like Derrick Island. You know, it's like Rikers Island, but named after someone called Derrick. In fact, let's call it Derrick's Island. There we go. That didn't work. We're going to call it Derrick's Island because, you know, it's like Rikers Island, but there's an oil industry. And since we're actually doing something... shall I upgrade the road all the way? Nah, prisoners can have a rural road. And we'll now put a little bit of industry out here. Not that much. We're going to put in, say, that much. And now all the demand for the entire city has shifted over to residential. Huh. That didn't take long, did it? You're also going to want power, aren't you? That'll do. Yes, there is a huge demand for residential. And we do have the option of high-density residential. So I think it's probably worth building up... Oh my god, the traffic! This is because of the whole city collapse power issue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. You can go back to your houses. I didn't mean to destroy everything. Yeah. We could upgrade some of this to be higher density. And I think that's probably... I don't know. Switching to high density is quite an undertaking because it increases traffic quite considerably. And it will increase demand on public services in this area as well. What we may want to do is build more low density residential out here. In particular because the jobs are all going to be all on the island there. So let's build a road out to here. And we're going to have to do something with the cycle path, aren't we? That's tricky. In fact, we could leave that as a cul-de-sac. I mean, there's no reason not to. We could just have more connections to our lovely cycle path. Are they connecting? Barely. I don't know whether they can cross that gap or not. I'll never make it one longer. Oh, definitely they can now. That one as well. Can I do that one longer? No. So I'm going to assume that they can reach it, therefore. And we are going to put in some more residential. Since there's a high demand. And maybe we'll do a bit on the other side as well, since we did over here, actually. Actually, let's build up around the high school. He says, remembering the power line debacle. No, let's build over here. Let's build some more little cul-de-sacs, like so. Nice and large. Oh, actually, you know what's better than that? Let's build it so that it's sort of slightly off-center. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but it does avoid crossroads. Crossroads can cause problems. Okay, and then the great demand for commercial. Okay, and then the great demand for residential is starting to fill this in. Although I am actually already regretting these ugly roads I've constructed. So actually, yeah. Sorry everybody, we're going to redesign your estate again. I'm going to make the roads a little better spaced. You'll have houses soon, don't worry. Right, there we go. And fill. Fill it in everywhere. There we go. How did I miss one here? Like that. And like that. And then it's all good. And that bit. All of it. And we need more water. Done. Good. Demand for residential has dropped, and now it's commercial demand. Always with the demands. Oh dear, all of that place has been abandoned. At least someone's building some oil industry, that's cool. So we now have command for commercial, and I think at this point it might be worth building some high density commercial in the area where the offices are, because the city, it will just match. So we're going to rezone this whole area into high density commercial. And that one as well. Why not? In fact, why do you exist? We'll get rid of you. We'll get rid of you. Yeah, we'll build high density commercial here, and that should provide larger shops, but it'll also fit the aesthetic of the larger buildings. Oh my god, industry! Oh, you'll recover. It's just because I accidentally killed everybody with the whole power cut thing again. My city's just suffering. Just like one day, everything's fine. Look, I built you a new bicycle path. The next day, oh, I'm sorry, I cut off all your electricity and forced 5,000 of you to leave town. Blurry. That's a nice little Fallout reference there. I don't think I'd seen that before. Very good. What's the other one say? The law recruiting. Don't get that one. Anyway, we now basically have demand for nothing. So it's going to take some time. At this point, it's worth checking on our bus routes, actually. how is the blue bus route doing? Is it worth adding another stop? I think it probably is at this point. If we add a stop so it goes out here and stops here. And then... okay, maybe we also add a stop down here. Oh, no, 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 no. Get rid of that one. What I meant to do was drag it out and go on the other side of the road. Like that. So then it goes up and around and stops 3 times in this little section and then heads on its way. Red bus route's okay. Green bus route looks okay. It's nice and quiet out that end of town. It turns out it's quite popular. Fairly evenly popular, actually. That's good. 120 or so passengers. Hopefully it's saving some traffic. I've decided whatever these earthworks are, we should basically preserve them. I think we can currently destroy them if we want to. Yes, we can. But we're not going to do that. We are going to preserve them as best we can, and we're going to make this into a nice little tourist site if possible. I don't know if that's even possible right now, but we won't destroy them. We must preserve the heritage of the people that once lived here. Ah, I see. It's actually wartime. Aha! I thought it was more like Native American earthworks, but no, it's actually World War I style trenches with emplacement guns. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, we're definitely keeping that. Wow. So what's this based on? Like European islands or something, I guess? Yeah, we're totally gonna put a war museum in down here if we can. Okay, how are things proceeding here? People are liking the new commerce, that's good. As usual, we have demand for residential and commerce. Back up after the Great Power Cut 2. Probably time to then expand and hope I don't destroy the entire system again. Up here. Do I want to just normalize this with a straight line and then a curve? Yes, I do. That looks just fine. And then we've got lots of space here, so... where's the nearest park? Oh, quite close. I actually don't really have a park in this area. So, do we have a nice plaza? Oh, yeah, I like the Paradox Plaza. We're actually going to have a nice plaza somewhere. That's a park. People in offices and commercial areas, I think, like plazas. So, let's put one... Well, it's going to destroy a little bit. Can I build a bigger plaza to make it a bit more worth it? How big is that plaza? Doesn't seem to want to stick in lengthways. That plaza? A little square one. Yeah, ideally I'd like that to stick lengthways, please. Like that? Just there? Yeah. Oh, it's one short in length. Ugh. Yes, I want to destroy it. This is ugly. We're gonna have that instead. That's nicer. Stupid one tile short of a sensible amount. Right. Also, I think I noticed when I was looking through the buildings we unlocked that one of the cool things we unlocked was the Science Center, amongst many others. Oh, an aquarium. And, oh, and an expo center as well. I would like to build a science center in the vicinity of our university. If possible. I don't know what it really does. Apparently, it's good for visitors. It's kind of large. It's huge. We could put it just here, though. It's a bit pollutative in terms of noise. Maybe we'd be better off putting it right next to the university. And then it's in the middle of a commercial district, and that's less discerning about noise issues. No, I kind of like putting it on this corner here. Though it does destroy a lot of commercial. Maybe if we... Okay, we're actually going to restructure a little bit here. Sorry, commercial. We're just going to clear out this area. And we're just going to demolish this road as well. And all these buildings that are in the way. Make sure it's dezoned. And then we're going to build... It's actually really cheap. Science is more expensive than that, let me assure you. We're going to build it just here. No. We're going to build a road to try and separate it a little bit from other things. Like that. And then we're going to build it just there. Good. In fact, yeah, let's just pop a little bit of commercial back there. And look, we have a glorious science centre, which actually does remind me a little bit of where I work. That's weird. Not with the we don't have any roundness, but this sort of funny windows with like these bars on the outside. Yeah, you get that in a lot of old sort of late 80s, early 90s science departments. So it is familiar to me. But cool, we have a science department. A science centre with absolutely nobody visiting, but that's not the point. The point is science. And we have yet more people demanding places to live. So, I think it's time. We're going to hit the button and start making this whole area more dense. So, let's try it. Let's see how much of it is taken up by the populace. For some reason bits don't fill in occasionally. Oh, there's immediate building work. Do I want to do this one as well? Yeah, okay. So we'll just do that first row on the other side of this main road. And see how bad the traffic gets. Which notably has now cleared up, thank God. And there is a lot of traffic using this cross bridge, so that saves me a massive amount of effort in terms of getting people across the city. But yeah, looks like they're building. Building in some high-density residentials. They're all a bit rubbish right now, because they've just been built, but give them some time, and I'm sure they'll kick off. Is it going to put a strain on our education system? Oh, really? We've still not got enough people for high school places? Oh my god. I think we might be getting a generational effect, because when you first start, the sort of families that move in initially into your residential areas typically are young adults with children, and those children, if you built a lot of housing at once, will all grow up together through elementary school. So, as you can see here in elementary, we actually only have about 700 elementary students, but we have nearly 3,000 college-age students. And at some point we'll get tons and tons of university-age students, and it's because of the whole, the way that things are distributed in terms of aging. But I think each high school only provides 1,000 places, so I think we might have to build another one out here to deal with Garland Park. But fortunately, there's a science centre that we just built with some space next to it. So what better place for children to learn than next to a giant science department? And we'll put in a little bit of commercial next to it so we don't waste the space. Good. Okay, our population is rising rapidly as a result of that high density area. We're getting complaints about trash on this side of the river, which makes me think that we need to build another trash depot. Or in fact, an incinerator. That's a good idea. So, you know what else this island's good for? Yep. Incinerating stuff. So, right there on the edge of the island, we're going to put an incinerator. It does stick out over the water. That could cause some pollution. All this stuff causes pollution, though, so... Okay, we'll put it just close to the oil district, like so. And that should hopefully... Oh, we're probably going to need a second incinerator, thinking about it. And that's probably why there's not enough garbage, because you need incinerators at some... Once they're unlocked, you actually need incinerators. Plus, we've got 2 huge landfills full. Holy shit. Okay, God, incinerators are polluting. Right, there's going to be an incinerator right on the edge of this... yeah, right on the edge of the industrial district here. That should hopefully provide us with nearly enough. Not quite enough, though. Ugh. I don't want to put it anywhere near those. And we're going to need more trash. Okay, so as well as being Incineration Island, I'm afraid you might also become Trash Island at this point. Don't think there's anywhere else sensible to build a trash dump in my existing zones. No. I don't want to build it anywhere inside the highway circle. And I really want to save this area, not polluting it too much. So I don't want it near the trees. I don't want it near the war memorial, that's terrible. So what exactly does the incineration do? Maybe we don't need one if enough trash is being incinerated. So processing rate 3,840 per week. I see, it's actually reducing our garbage reserves. Okay, that's good. So actually, go back to the incinerators. Right, yeah, I remember. They produce an amount of electricity, but they also get rid of trash. And at the moment, basically because it's in the red zone, it means that we're generating slightly more garbage than we produce. We have some landfill space left, but ultimately I think we want to try and reduce our impact of landfill. So we do want to have another incinerator. And yep, I think the only sensible place is either out on the island or over here. And I think over here is the best place. And we made it! We made it to Small City. Which means we've unlocked my favourite things. Finally, we can build trains. It takes us so long to get trains, but we can finally do it. We can build train stations, we can build cargo trains, we can also build hydropower plants, which I'll investigate, but I have a feeling on this map that the rivers aren't strong enough, so it may not be very good for us. But we'll try. But I'm not going to end the episode just there. I'm actually going to finish what I was doing, which was to build a second incinerator, which means our overall garbage output should be going down. And I'm also going to I'm just going to check on generally how things are doing out here. This oil district's doing pretty well. The prison is nowhere near full. Okay, I think we can forget about the prison for a good long while. We are still lacking workers in many of our sectors, so I think before I finish, I'm actually going to try to expand the available residential zone here, which means deleting some power lines, but I have a third power line just there. I thought about this in advance, so that shouldn't kill anything. And, oh wow, okay, so this area here is really becoming quite dense. Oh yeah, we've almost got an upgrade going on some of these high density buildings, which is pretty impressive. But this is going to put us, like, our population is now going to skyrocket and start to put pressure on other services. We're going to need more power, we're going to need more trash guys, we're going to need more water. It's really going to start, you know, adding up as the game goes on. But once you start with high density stuff, you sort of carry on with it. It's really nice. And I can imagine that over the course of time, most of this will become high density. But I'll probably try and keep the island low density and the areas out there low density as well, because everything high density, it's just not as fun. It's not as nice. There is no sort of density algorithms involved here, so if you played SimCity 4, then you could only get large skyscrapers and high density buildings if you had enough sort of supporting structure in the city, or in neighbouring cities. They wouldn't just spontaneously appear just because you built a high density area. And that doesn't really happen in this game, unfortunately. So this will all be high density just because I labelled it so. Which means it's up to me to decide which bits should be high and which bits should be low. And I will probably use that because I like to make it look sensible and aesthetic. And oh my god, we've got a traffic jam. Where the heck are people going? Oh my god, so much traffic. Where are you all going? Driving home, driving. Okay, so they've all come back from work for the day? I don't know. I really think actually something we should do next episode is we are going to build another exit from this roundabout and it's going to come off, and the city is going to be enterable in the Garland Park area, because we need to get more people out here, I think. This is just too much traffic coming through the centre here. And yeah, I basically need a bypass to go straight here. In fact, what I might do is I might build the highway itself along here, and then have some highway exits which let you get into Garland Park, because that would be sensible. So, I think that's it for today. As you can see, we've got a little bit of an industrial crisis because almost all of our workers have gone to opt for office jobs, but we can fix that next time by building a heck load of residential. We've managed to attain the status of a small city, and next time we'll be looking at getting towards 14,000 people and a big city. So I hope you enjoyed watching. That's all for now. Goodbye.